When it's time, better let the man Simo speak.
Yo, this is Bilal Muhammad, and you're listening to the Simo Speaks podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I have a special guest. I have the Palestinian Pirlo, the man himself, Bdair Ball. How are you, brother?
Good, alhamdulillah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Look, the first question I have for you is, what are some of your early moments and first love for the sport? For the fans that don't know, you're a Serie A enthusiast, right? Milan, there's only one team in Milan, according to you, correct?
Of course, there will only ever be early moments. The thing is, there's so much football I watched before I really understood what was going on, So it's like there's memories, but the first season where I was like, okay, I'm actually the 2010 World Cup is the first full competition that I'm like, yes, I'm not just watching, but I also understand what's happening. And then the 2011 Serie A season when we win the title with Zlatan and Pato and Robinho and all these other guys. And I thought it was only going to go up from there. And it was nothing but a horrific downfall after that. And I was just stuck. It was too late.
Hey, listen, you've seen at least one Scudetto in the meantime since then.
I've seen two total. I'm happy,
Right.
and I'm going to see another one this year. So I'm
Inshallah
good
khair,
overall.
man. Listen, bro, I became a United fan when I was 10 years old, and I cooked myself. Like, it was
They
GG's.
scammed us, dude. They scammed us.
That was terrible.
They scammed us. We didn't even know what the hell. We thought we were the ones glory hunting. We didn't even know.
Tell me who some of your favorite players are right now. Give me some Milan players, Serie A players as a whole, and then you can, expand. But laser in on your home team players.
Well, Leao was the standard. Everybody who follows me and all that stuff knows Leao is my guy. Modric, dude. Oh my God. It's just it's again. I said this on my latest videos. It's Luka Modric. It's not like nothing. None of this brilliance comes as a surprise. I've watched it a million times. But when he's on your teams, damn, I got Luka Modric on my team. Different level. I'm trying to think. Nico Paz, dude. Nico Paz is special. He's one of the few. Madrid sell all these guys, and they have all the buybacks and all that stuff. Brahim was one of them, right? Brahim Diaz, who played at Milan and then later on went back to Madrid. And you watch them and you're like, well, that's a good player, I understand why they want to keep tabs on him and all that. But he's probably never going to contribute or be a starter. I mean, Brahim's a good rotation piece and all that. But no, you watch Nico Paz and you're like, he could start now. Why is he not? Tell me he's not better than Arda Güler right now? He might be. He's special. Gabriel, I love Gabriel. I love physical players. Gabriel, Declan Rice, Reece James. Reece James is if you made a fullback in a lab, it looks like Reece James. He's just perfection at the position. I just like a lot of footballers. Everybody. Julian Alvarez. I love Julian Alvarez.
Oh, man. That's a great shout.
Even though he had a horrible game today. Yeah.
I mean, hey, speaking of games today, I saw you bit of an agenda against the Prem today, talking about best league in the world. What?
Look, I don't. This is the thing, right? Nobody actually listens to what I'm saying. Right? Not you, but generally, people don't actually listen to what I'm saying. I have never once said the Premier League is not the best league in the world. Obviously, I'm not stupid. They have the most money. They buy the most talent. They're the best league in the world. Cool. What I always fight back on is the idea that, oh well, everything about the Premier League is framed as can you do it on a cold night in Stoke? Oh, he couldn't do that in the Premier League. There's no goal untouched. There's no clip from another league that's untouched by, oh, he couldn't do that in the Premier League. He wouldn't have this much space in the Premier League. Oh my God, look at the intensity. And I'm like, is anybody actually watching the games? Does anybody actually use their eyes? Because I watch Arsenal players. They're on the ball. By the way, if you play for a great team, you will get time on the ball because nobody's going to come press you and sacrifice their spacing behind. I watch Arsenal players get the ball, and Declan Rice will have 62 minutes to decide what he wants to do. Because nobody is going to come and press and be one pass away from being in behind. And people, by the way, it's not just, people don't just do it for the Premier League. They even do it for the past. You'll watch, I saw a Paul Scholes comp, and they were and somebody was quoting it man, you couldn't, I respect this, but you couldn't do this in today's game. Nobody gets as much time. I'm like, please watch the games. Watch the games with your eyes. The good teams, not the crap teams, fine. The bad teams, everybody's pressing everybody, right? Because they're vulnerable. But the good teams, I watch Luka Modric every game. The beginning of the season, they were let's leave him space. And he was just diming them from behind. Then they started like, okay, let's press him. So he just dribbled right past him. So at a certain point, they were just like, okay, we're just gonna be in this middle space. And he has as much time as he wants. Because if you're that good, you could just create that space and you create that time. So that's my Premier League agenda.
Hey, fair enough. Nah, I rate it. I love it. I love it. You touched on it a little bit earlier. You said Milan, you're gonna win the Scudetto this year. How are you feeling about Serie A this season as a whole? Look, the first person I want to ask you about is my guy McTominay, right? Just won what Serie A Player of the Year. What's going on over there, man?
He is. I said this the day they won the title. I don't think I've ever been more wrong about a player than Scott McTominay. I don't know what your opinions were at the time when he left. Okay. He's the same player he was at United, but Conte, Conte, just if you are in a bad situation, if you're at Manchester United, go to Antonio Conte. Find wherever Antonio Conte is, go to him, and he will put you in the spot because he still does the same things. He's a great dueler, physical, great in transition, like running and all that, and an amazing goal scorer. All things that he did at United. But the difference is Napoli don't ask him to do anything else. Like win a tackle, run, shoot, done. Head the ball, do all that. That's all you need. And for them, for a team that's as low scoring as them, but as defensively compact, at least last season, right? That's all they needed him to do. And he showed up. This is the part where you couldn't have known it because at United, he was not involved in title races, right? But
he had some ridiculous statistic though his last season at United where it was
in
like he
terms
clutched
of
like 12 points himself, like in
100%,
last minute goals.
he was always there for the big moments. But even at United, like the big moments were not trophy
It's like
moments,
beating
right?
Brentford.
Yeah, but this was just a different level. Those last 10 games or so, because they were neck and neck with Inter the whole time. Those last 10 games or so, he just won game after game after game after game, and it was impressive. But I think Milan so far are the ones we've dominated all the big games. We've beat Inter, we beat Napoli, we've beat Roma, we beat Lazio, beat Bologna, drew to Juve. That's the only one, but that was away. Beat all those teams. So in terms of the direct competition, we've looked everybody in the eye. Our problem remains beating the smaller teams. But I do think like if you hear like okay, I think we have the two best attackers in the league in Pulisic and Leao. There's some debate with the Inter guys, but in my opinion, it's those two. Those two guys have started together one time this season. One game out of 13. So our only answer to beating those other teams, those smaller teams, because tactically we're built to play the bigger games, to sit back and counter and all that. Our only way to beat the smaller teams consistently is just more talent than the other team. And a combination of Leao and Pulisic is what gives us that. If we can get them both healthy at the same time, playing together, I don't see how we don't win the league.
Overall, how do you feel about Nkunku?
I mean, I said this the day we signed him. I said it was a horrific signing. I said whatever, but the more it's unfolded, it's gonna end up being one of the worst signings we've ever made. He's not physically fit. He's not physically ready, which I get it. And Serie A is supposed to be the slower league, so I can only imagine how bad he was in the Premier League. He's not physically there. He doesn't make sense as a squad. So we have Leao and Pulisic, two best attackers, and we're playing a 3-5-2. So even though neither of them are a striker, we're basically making Leao a striker. And even though neither of them are a striker, they have to start. Cool. Now but neither of them are a traditional striker. You have Santiago Jimenez, who is a traditional striker but is horrific. And then Nkunku is like the third option for second striker. He doesn't make sense. The signing never made sense because it didn't actually address the problem we have. We have too many second strikers, if anything. And Allegri did not want that kind of striker. That was clear the whole season. And basically, our window was saved only by the grace of God and Allegri's specific recommendations. If they don't, he wanted Chow to stay, the guy who's at Newcastle now, and they sold him because they got an offer that was too big to refuse, which is just a phrase that gets used to say we made a stupid sale. So he wanted him to stay. They sold him. They got Nkunku when he wanted a more traditional center forward. He wanted Vlahovic. That was the case the whole summer. But Vlahovic makes like double everybody else in Serie A in wages, and he wasn't willing to half that or whatever. So they didn't get him that. But he specific after we lost the first game against Cremonese, newly promoted Cremonese, who turned out to be very good. So we didn't know that at the time, but they've turned out to be good. Um, he's told them, you have to get me Adel Rabiot. This is after, so Adel Rabiot and Jonathan Rowe had like a fist fight in Marseille's locker room after the first game. Somehow, I don't know why.
Rabiot is
And
problematic, man. I'm sorry.
he
I get ready to blame him for everything. Him and his mother make me
he,
sick.
he was probably right, but whatever. Marseille kicked them both out. So Jonathan Rowe's at Bologna and Adel Rabiot. Allegri said, "Go get me Rabiot," and he did, and he's been fantastic. Um, yeah. So no, Nkunku is he's a problem, and I don't I would be surprised if he lasts past this season.
What is your most memorable IRL moment? It could be a game you went to, or it could be a game you watched. But let's say you had to send a time capsule 100 years down the line to your ancestors, and this is what they have to see.
Okay, I was so you're in the DMV. I was at Audi Field the second game that after it opened. So I bought my season ticket. Then Audi Field was delayed, so they played like the first half of the season all away from home, and then it was going to be like 15 straight home games. So I was overseas, and I come back, and then my first game was against Orlando City, Orlando United. I can't remember what they're called. And Luciano Acosta, do you know him?
Yeah.
Okay, Luciano Acosta is this like 5'6" little Argentinian midfielder, and he was magic. So he scores a goal, Orlando equalized. He scores a second goal, Orlando equalized, and then this was right when Rooney had signed. It was like his first game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that iconic goal where the keeper's out of the goal.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it's 2-2. Okay, it's just a regular season game, and the keeper comes out to our side. This is all happening in front. Like we're trying to score. I'm right behind the goal. Okay, like 3 or 4 rows from the stanchion. The goalkeeper comes out, and we're literally all like, "Why the hell is he coming this far? Like, it's 2-2. Like, why is the keeper coming?" And then it gets deflected, and Orlando on a counter attack, and they're about to score, and then Rooney just. I promise you, the whole game I had been complaining about how little he had worked, how little he had ran, and I was. It turns out he had been saving it all for that last
Man,
moment.
he was magic in some little
He
pockets.
just, bro, he's literally. I promise you, he's like standing right in front of us, and then he just starts running, like just like an insane person, just runs, slide tackles him at the halfway line, pushes the ball like 10 yards ahead of him, then just punts it into the box, and right in front of us, 5'6" Luciano Acosta, the smallest person in the entire field, climbs over the Orlando City center back and heads it in for 3-2, and then he jumps right in front of us. He jumps into the crowd, and he's like 5 foot from me. And then when everything, like everybody's celebrating, all this, it's crazy. I ended up like 3 rows forward from where I was. This was before safe standing. They used to have like bleachers. And when it was all said and done, somebody threw a flare that landed right by my foot. And it was still like burning and everything. And I was so confused about what to. I was so confused about what to do. And I just stared at it for a while. And then some guy went and grabbed his beer and threw it on
Okay,
him,
okay, he handled
on the
business.
flare. Yeah, I was like,
Amateur firefighter.
bro, I literally just stood right next to it, and I was like, I don't. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to respond? Like, is
Throw
this
on the pitch.
normal? I had never seen a flare before. I had never seen a flare in a football game. So I was like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do now? But yeah, that was crazy. That was the best goal and the best moment I've ever seen in my life.
Man, you saw Benteke is not resigning. He's gone.
Good for him, man.
Yeah,
He's too good for the team.
man.
But honestly, one of the most dominant footballers I have ever seen in my life. Every goal kick, every corner, every attack, every single person on the field, on the other team, in the coaching staff, everybody knew it was coming to his head. Who can stop it? Do something about it. Like do something about it.
Who's a unit?
Well, I watched Zlatan when he was at LA Galaxy, and he wasn't that as good as Benteke was. It was crazy.
I want to ask you now, what is your favorite kit? Both give me one AC Milan and one international kit.
I'm a sucker for kits that are like a plain color. This is randomly specific, like a plain color, and then like have a stripe of 1 and 2 colors in. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. I think it was like 2011 away kit. Dude, I love that. I love that kit. And there's one that I don't own. because it's too rare and I've never been able to find it. I've tried to buy it. But I have this 1996. This one, Milan. If you go Google there was four 1996 kits from Milan, and all of them were insane. Like all of them were ridiculous, and so they re-released them all four for like $40 each. And I was like, cool, and I got all of them. And I was like, one by one. I didn't buy them all at the same time, but one by one.
With the Opel is nice.
Dude.
Yeah.
Another thing, by the way, Opel is the best sponsor. It was the greatest sponsor. It was the best
That's
sponsor.
real nice.
International kit. Now I'm trying to think. I've never really paid attention to international kits, but if I had to just like randomly do one, like the old Netherlands one, where it was like orange but like different shades, like a checkered flag or something.
Yeah.
I love teams that just wear a weird color, like all orange, weird.
Yeah.
Fiorentina all purple,
weird.
Palermo all pink. Like nobody wears a flat out just like one of those colors. Everybody's red or blue or white or whatever.
They're trying to make it, especially, now it's hit or miss. Like there's it feels like certain manufacturers are just making a jersey just for people to wear outside. They're not too concerned with like on the pitch, visibility, and it's more so just like the outfit that we're gonna sell to people later on. All right, let me ask you now your all-time Serie A 11.
So okay, there's like the different there's like the older, like Serie A players like Gaetano Siqueira or whatever his name is, like the really old Juve players. Those ones I'm just not gonna. I know he's one of those Hall of Famers, and I know.
So what was your criteria? Was it like the color had to exist, right? Like you have to watch their highlights.
I don't know if I have a specific. I guess I have to have seen them. Like I have to have actually like not necessarily seen them as in watched them while I was alive, but having gone back, like I've watched old Milan games, like the 80s, late 80s and early 90s and stuff. So I'm gonna say, okay, Buffon obviously is the goalkeeper. He's guaranteed. Maldini's the left back. And another one random thing, but like I don't like that people have. If anybody ever makes a lineup like this and they put Maldini as center back, it's like a big tell.
Oh, okay.
He's a left back. Now, the historic level is that he was also great at center back.
I feel like the center back tell is like you only know him from Ultimate Team.
Yes, or yeah, but like but that's the greatness of Maldini is that like he starts and Maradona's in the league, and then he ends and he's like playing one-on-one with Messi and Ronaldo. It's like, do you see how this player bridged the like gap? It's crazy. But yeah, he's
the
left
narrative
back.
is insane. Like I should say the story. Like it's just beautiful.
Yeah, he's basically like he's a check mark for every great player. Like every great player is like every great player of those multiple eras is like I had to play him and I had to go against him. And then what's his name? Oh, so okay, Nesta center back again, not just for what he did at Milan, by the way. People also don't think about how much he won the league at Lazio, right? Amazing player. Second center back. See, technically, if you were just doing it by name, I'm gonna say Baresi is the second center back.
Okay.
But I will give like some honorable mentions because I think there's been too many great midfield. I think Chiellini was like he was so good and he was on the team that you wanted to hate, but there was just a level of like, God damn, I wish that guy was on my team. Like every part of it. And I don't like that he gets stereotyped as those like very aggressive players. He was aggressive, but he was also like a beautiful footballer.
Oh yeah. Ballet.
Because people start thinking that those guys can't. They do this with Roy Keane too. Like that those guys weren't good on the field. It's like, do you guys think?
Hey, I need you to go for 10 minutes about Roy Keane. Let's
go. It's just the general idea that these guys think like, okay, so Roy Keane was amazing, and Roy Keane was like a shin kicker, and Paul Scholes was amazing. Well, then, no, of course not. How do you think one lasted with the other, like, or even outlasted? Like he played long before Scholes, and he continued playing, long into Scholes' career. It's, these guys. If you're a great player on a great team, you had to have some incredible quality on the ball, even in that era, And for Chiellini, it's not even that old, but he still kind of gets that typecast. Let me see. Right back. I mean, the standard answer is Cafu. Cafu is like he's just a little bit. He was a little bit before my time. People think of Cafu at Milan, but he was kind of like older when he got to Milan. His main Serie A stint was at Roma, where he also won the league there. He's the standard answer. The best, the best I've seen with my own eyes, just like amazing, was Maicon. Maicon was for like a few seasons. Maicon was a freight train like I've never seen before. Like he was just a physical freak of nature.
Brazilian demon,
And
man.
dude,
He was
it was
incredible.
he
Me,
terrorized me when I was a kid, dude. He was amazing, man. Midfield three. So I think the most underrated and one of the greatest midfielders ever, who's also in my all-time 11 just in general football, is Clarence Seedorf. I just think, bro, he doesn't. There's nothing on the football pitch that he didn't do at an A+ level. Like literally nothing. He could get you 10 goals if you wanted. Makes the tackles, makes the passes, brilliant dribbler, physical, like just a personification of the perfect midfielder. If you were gonna build him in a lab again, I'm not saying he's the greatest midfielder ever, but if you were to build a midfielder in a lab, that's what he would. That's what he would be. He would be a Clarence Seedorf. Um,
Clarence Seedorf is a very special player, but my favorite version of Clarence Seedorf, like if you go back and watch European Night, Clarence Seedorf was out
bro,
of
he
this
was
world, out of
again
this world.
because again he could be whatever you wanted. Like as a United fan, you might remember when he wiped the floor with you in 2007. But like that was him as like in the back in the day we used to do the whole like Christmas tree, like the striker and then the two attacking midfielders. Yeah, he could just like yeah, cool. I'll just slide into this attacking midfielder spot. I'll score some goals. I'll make some assists, dribble around the box. It's like it's not normal that he could do that. Then he could be like the physical box to box guy. He could be the holder. He could do all this other stuff.
I was being
It's not supposed to
shameless.
look like that.
I was being shameless calling Kobe Menu. Like as soon as I saw people being like Mini Seedorf, I jumped on. I was ready to go for that nickname, man.
People, yeah, I was just like, let's tone it down a little. Let's calm down.
You have to send it
That
sometimes, man.
that was a physical specimen, like the likes of which we hardly ever see. Like that's really nice. But no, amazing player. Who else? You see, okay, Pirlo becomes the standard answer here. I don't. Well, he betrayed us by leaving and all that stuff, but it's not even just that. He was a great player, a great player. Okay, but I do find it. I the players that needed to be paired with other guys to do some of the running, which is what he was. Him and Gattuso came. People talk about it like Gattuso was there because of like, or Gattuso, Pirlo helped Gattuso. It's like, yes, but actually more than anything, Gattuso helped Pirlo. That's why they came in as a pair for Italy and for Milan. They always came as a pair, right? Um, so he's probably the right answer, but a left field answer is my favorite Inter player, or not my favorite Inter player. I hate them all, but like the answer to if you could get a player from your rival team, who would it have been? Was Esteban Cambiaso. He was. I love defensive midfielders. I love defensive football and I love defensive midfielders, but like, oh my dude, Esteban Cambiaso was unbelievable. And I urge everybody to sit down and just go watch the 2010 semifinal against Barcelona. He literally just like Jose Mourinho was basically like, see that guy, that small Argentinian man, be his shadow. Like just
Stick to him, white on rice.
like here, dude. It was unbelievable. Um, so yeah, I love Cambiaso. The answer probably is Pirlo for what it's worth. Um, again, like the traditional answer after that would be like Michel Platini or one of those older guys, but I never watched Michel Platini, so I don't know. I'm trying to think who would get into this conversation. I mean, no, Rijkaard. Rijkaard is the most underrated player. He was the like cherry on top of the ice cream sundae that Milan created. An interest like Milan, Arrigo Sacchi and Khule and Van Basten. Because back then you could only have three foreign players. You could only have three foreign players in the squad. And obviously Khule and Van Basten were two. And they had to like all of them, including Arrigo Sacchi, who's the manager, like everybody had to lobby Berlusconi, being like, "Listen, we gotta this. This is the one. We have to get this one." And they did, obviously, and they won 2 Champions Leagues and many more after that. And then he goes to back to Ajax as an old man, wins the Champions League again there against Milan in 1995, and all these other things, like
It was all
amazing
young
player.
boys, right? He was the
He
old
was
man
the
on
old
that
head. He
team.
was the old
Yeah.
head. Yeah, he was the unk on that team. Everybody else, it was literally a group of children. Like it was 17-year-old Kluivert, 18-year-old Seedorf, like all these amazing, one of the greatest teams ever. And it was just him at the base, just being like, "I'm gonna lead you guys all to this." I guess we do say that doesn't really do wingers, so we're not doing wingers. I'll do a diamond and then 2 strikers. So attacking midfielder is Kaká. He's
Okay.
the most electrifying. He's not the best player, but he is the most electrifying player I have ever witnessed. There's nothing like him, and I don't think there ever will be anything like him in terms of just like the combination of pure, raw, like disgusting athleticism, and then technical ability to go with it. Just magic. And the 2 strikers are Van Basten, which again, I didn't watch so much of him, but I have gone back and watched the games. But also, like, there are some people that just the way that they're talked about by people that of that time just kind of speaks for them. Like actually, you mentioned the what's it called? The podcast with Gary Neville and all those guys. Can't remember what it's called. Stick to Football. You mentioned that, and Khulet went on that podcast, and the little part where they spoke about Van Basten, like just all those guys were just like just different, just different level, different quality. All that he was able to achieve, having retired at 28, right? Like he was a different level of player. Um, and then in terms of pure quality, hold on, I forgot Maradona in here. That's the problem. Hold on.
Hey, you forgot El Sharawi too, man. You gotta find a way to put him in there.
Dude, El Shaarawy saved my life when I was a kid, dude. I thought it was when we sold Ibra. Okay, this is a funny thing. So back like when you're a kid and transfer moves happen, like you don't really understand all the like. You're not there wasn't Twitter, or you weren't. At least I wasn't on Twitter, and I wasn't sitting there like following the updates and all that. But back then, so Thiago Silva had 1 year left on his deal when he left, but then he extended his deal, signed a 5 year contract so that we could get a lot more money from PSG, right? Amazing move from him
Yeah.
and all that. But I, as a kid, had no idea that these things like that were on the like happened. So all I saw was, oh my God, he extended his contract for 5 years. He's staying. I'm so excited, whatever. And then literally the next day, it's announced that he's leaving. And I was like, I was inconsolable. And thank you for Asharawi for like saving me from that period afterwards. I thought he was the truth. He was the truth for that one season. Okay, so hold on. Let me restructure this now. I'm gonna, just because it's my from the heart, I'm gonna put Kaká instead of Rijkaard because I actually watched him a lot more. I'll do Maradona at the attacking midfield because obviously Van Basten, and then I guess you just have to go with R9 because even though he wasn't in Serie A for as long, he's just. I saw a great. Maldini has some great quotes, but one quote that I saw the other day was that only 2 players ever made him think about defending. Like, oh, like I gotta, what am I gonna do here? Am I gonna like everything else was just instinctual? Like it was just like in the zone. Only 2 players ever actually made him think about what he was doing, and it's Maradona and R9. And so for that alone, I feel like you have to put them in the team.
That's a hard quote. Honestly, I've never heard that. That's really hard.
It's crazy. I hadn't heard it a lot either, but like, yeah.
You know, you were talking about the Gary Neville and that episode with Ruud Gullit is probably one of my favorite, if not favorite, former player interviews. Just because the way his mentality, he's so sharp. You could tell he's just an intelligent guy all around. Like I love it, man.
There was that one where he talked about he told Roy Keane like this. Roy Keane told a story when they were both players that he met Ruud Gullit, and he was like talking to him, and he was like, Ruud Gullit was like, "What's your worst injury?" And he was like, "Oh, I did my ACL, like cruciate, whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, I always had like the side strains, like yeah, from like lifting all the trophies." I was just like, man. Well, I would like. This is the thing that team and that era. Like, I wish a microphone was in front of them all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's just like we get all these like things in snippets. It's like, man, I wish somebody put a mic in front of Rud Khudet every time it was possible. And because I just want to hear that dude speak. Because when he was at the top, I can only imagine how confident that dude was.
He has a great book, How to Watch Football.
Okay. I actually never read that, but that's
it's just
okay.
Random plug. Hey, listen, if you guys want to sponsor, let's go. Wrapping up with football talk, man. I want to ask you, what would your goal celebration be? You score a crazy banger last minute. You're lifting up the Champions League. You're gonna get side streams. What's the celebration you hit?
I can't, dude. The celebration that always I had a weird like affinity to, and this is the dumbest thing ever. But like, do you remember Fabio Borini?
Yeah, crazy shout.
Okay. Do you remember what Fabio Borini's goal celebration was? He used to bite his hand like that. And he would just go crazy. He would biting his hand, right? And apparently it was like the whole like bit between the teeth. It's like a old Roman expression, like, oh, there's like a sword or whatever. I don't know, but it was something about such a random football. Because I remember reading that when I was a kid. I was like, man, why does Fabio Borini get to have such a cool celebration? Like, we're never going to see it, you know? Because imagine if that was attached to a really great goal scorer, dude. That would be the most, everybody would be doing it. Like, what an iconic celebration.
Yeah.
So that would be my celebration. I would
looking at it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
I was like, dude, I don't know why. Because it has a story behind it and everything. So, man, yeah, imagine if Haaland was doing that. It's like, everybody would be doing that. That's what I'm saying, because he didn't score enough. But like, pay homage to Fabio Borini. That's my celebration.
There we go, man. There we go. Brother, I want to get you out of here. Give us an outro. Tell the people what's going on. Plug yourself. Where can people listen to you? Where can people find you? What's going on?
You can find me at the Bdair Ball, as well, Bdair Ball, all one word, channel, YouTube channel, and at my Twitter, which I don't know, Bdair and with underscores instead of the A's. It's a whole stupid thing. Yeah, I got suspended back in the day. But anyway, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to other things that are also attached to all of our links, I assume.
People let it talk, I let them do it all week. When it's time, better let the man Simo speak. It ain't sweet when you line up in the big leagues, big names and the best teams with the critique. Always on point, better come and grab a good seat. I ain't got no time to waste, talk ain't cheap.